The Outer Worlds 2 is the upcoming sci-fi RPG from Obsidian that is about to be sold for $80. That's freaking insane. The first game was fine. It was okay. I played it and I don't hate it, at least. It was released during times where Western RPGs were rather lackluster, and it still is lackluster now. Thank you, Claire Obscure. Even Avowed has its fans, but $80? Apparently this was not said by Obsidian. It was said by Microsoft and Xbox. Either way, don't get me started on that $70 Sonic racing game, Sega. Jeez, games are expensive these days. Games have been that price in the UK for over a decade. Sucks to be you, Brits, but that's still not okay. Americans have had everything insanely cheap. Ah, yes, the British is lecturing the Americans how underprivileged they are. Bro, you can justify the price however you like. These prices are way too insane for any American gamer to buy, let alone the rest of the people around the world. Why are people mad about this price increase when there's been many price increases years ago too? People have been mad about those price increases too. To suggest that people haven't been mad about price increases is a denial of reality. A game that gives hundreds of hours of entertainment is worth $80. Yeah, you are assuming that The Outer Worlds 2 is hundreds of hours. I'm guessing that it'll be like 40 hours at most, just like the first game. I can't wait to be proven wrong on that, Obsidian, but your pedigree has been rather questionable as of late. Naming absolute failures of games does not equate to most games. Nice of you to bring up most games, because most games are not worth $80 either. We have way more delusions coming from people defending $80 games, and yes, these people exist. Gaming at the moment is probably the cheapest hobby to get into, I feel. Cheapest hobby? Gaming can be a cheap hobby, but to say that it's the cheapest is straight up wrong. Jogging is quite literally free. Collecting anime BDs and figures and eating out destroys my wallet much harder than just buying a few games every month or so. First off, there are cheaper ways to consume anime without the needs of buying BDs and figurines. Second, eating is way more essential than buying games. If it's not more expensive than your hobbies in general, you are most likely malnourished. Microtransactions are optional content. Stop trying and don't buy them. You're missing the point. Game companies are charging the customers way more than they should be. It's not about customers not buying microtransactions. Everyone shouldn't do that. It's about game companies choosing to add microtransactions at the top of the asking fee. They can still make profit without the needs of doing that. All they need to do is to make sure that their suits don't spend it on another car. That is called inflation. It has always existed and always will. Yeah, you know what else is inflated? The executives' bottom line. We're still not buying $80 games. Not now, at least. Maybe in the future people are gonna find it more tolerable, but definitely not now. And they're definitely not rewarding developers when the game company executives are too busy spending them on strip clubs. I see this whining about $80, and it makes me laugh when other places have it far worse than this. Bro, I live in Indonesia. Game prices are way worse here. Americans are well within their rights to complain. Also, Canadian dollars aren't worth as much as American dollars, so that 80, actually 70 USD Sonic Racing is 94 Canadian. It's way worse for you too. Americans are the most selfish, greedy people always. Wow, that literally came out of nowhere. But then again, this person might have been British. And aren't you Americans just glad that the revolution happened? I learn new things every day, every year, and I wish that I had this insight years ago. But I am glad that I have it now, because this take does not bode well with my current principles. This so-called gamers don't know the basic principle of happiness is symbiosis. Nice of you to bring up symbiosis without actually elaborating that there are many types of them, and the one that I'm witnessing in the gaming industry right now is parasitism. Symbiosis between gamers and game makers. People to people who express their minds through games. Ah, yes, the symbiosis between game developers and gamers. Yeah, this is not a common thing, unfortunately. This only happens more often between indie and AA game developers. They benefit quite a lot from user feedback, and the relationship is more direct and has genuine mutual benefits for both parties. In this industry, it's incredibly rare for game developers to take user feedback and turn it into something amazing. But to me, this whole thing is not about gamers and developers. It's about developers and the companies that employ them. Considering the many layoffs and utterly wasted talent thrown off of the industry, considering the absolutely wasted resources on games that no one asked for, you cannot tell me with a straight face that a lot of these terrible decisions are made by passionate developers with love of their crafts and games. Now, if they want to deal with a systemic evil that will destroy the industry, it's their choice. Yeah, and that systemic evil is called game companies not treating their developers well. Those $70 to $90 games that you might be paying, depending on the region, the money doesn't go to the thankless developers and artists that spend their love, passion, and time developing these games. They go to the suits that pay them and lay them off when they feel like it. Just saying, guys, giving money to the cashier is not a direct support of the cashier. Don't you just hate it when video games are insanely expensive? Why can't we just sell the 7 Seas for them? Sonic's latest racing game, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, is being sold on Steam for 94 Canadian, which is about $70 US. It's to the point where Piracy seems like a more interesting prospect, but before you all consider selling the Seas, I want you all to be aware that the 7 Seas is a very risky venture, and misinformation like this can get your ship sunk faster than the ocean gate. This person suggested a website called Steam Unlocked. Please do not go to that website. Not because the website is full of pirates and piracy is illegal, dangerous, and immoral and all that, but because the pirates there are actually malicious. They will hack you, steal your information, and strip you off of your hard-earned cash. According to the Unsafe section in the Piracy Megafred, which every single one of you pirate veterans and newbies should read, Steam Unlocked is quite literally crap. They engaged in unethical conducts that include terrible regulation and the calculated injections of insidious malware. Yes, they will give you malware. Reddit is not the only community that curates these pirate sources. There are many that will tell you all the unsafe parts of the 7 Seas. Seriously, there's a huge community of pirates on Reddit and online in general that will guide you through the dangers of the 7 Seas and curate all the trustworthy pirate sources way better than some random people you met on Twitter X online. To all the newbie sailors out there, please do not venture forth without a map like the Megafred, and happy sailing. And for those of you who just watched the video for the first time, both old subscribers and potential new ones, if you like this video so far, don't forget to click the like button, comment, subscribe, and leave some tips through any of these means, including YouTube membership. Links below. Thank you to all the sponsors this week. You're all fantastic. Remember Forspoken? The game looked pretty hype at first, but then people played the game and realized that it was, to say the least, incredibly underwhelming. The gameplay was unimpressive and unchallenging, the world building is non-existent, the main character is someone that they would rather go deaf for than being in any direct vicinity, and that brings me to some incredibly golden takes that I found back in 2021, 2 years before the game was out, and these takes aged like fine wine, both in the takes themselves and also as materials for comedy. Like, seriously, this take aged beautifully, Alex.
Listen, Arcade!
Why are you mad though? I want this game and Square Enix to fail. I don't want this game to fail. The game just self-evidently failed. It failed so bad it closed down the whole studio. But you people of 2021 really couldn't have seen this 2023 disaster coming. There are CD keys to cheapen the price if you don't like the $70 tag, so why cry? Oh wow, how topical is this in current year when game prices are actually skyrocketing to $70 or even $90 depending on the country, but don't worry, that hefty price tag is the least of this game's problems. The most exciting RPG of 2022 could fix the worst thing about the genre. 2022, how naive of you. Anyway, it's exciting because it has a strong focus on women both in the hero and villain roles. Oh boy, you people are so naive back then. Let's focus on the positives, support the steps forward, and not focus more on whether the writers are black or not. Having a black lead actress is a good step in my honest opinion. Man, you're too busy talking about all that, you forgot about whether the game is good or not. To be fair, that wasn't apparent back in 2021, but it is apparent now. I still remember the time when I was talking about this on stream, and I picked the best isekai title for the game, and me in the chat went with, I couldn't make it in the hood, so I become a hero in another world. Perfect title for a trash isekai anime. Oh, speaking of anime, we have an anime game hoopla coming up. I find it funny that Persona fans are quite the punching bag on the internet, even among Persona fans. I did it. After 8 years of being a Persona fan, I have the PAL version of Vanilla, long overdue. It's a copy of the PAL version of Persona 3 for the PS2 that this person bought for 77 euros, which is about $88. That's crazy expensive for such an old game. The reload version is way cheaper and, well, arguably better depending on who you ask, but hey, you're a huge Persona fan and you collect all the Persona stuff, even when it's not really that necessary to collect. I thought you finally found a job, not gonna lie. That's just cruel, dude. But I can't help but to find it really funny. I personally would want to spend $70 on Persona 3 Reload, let alone $88 on the PAL version of the original PS2 Persona 3. But hey, it's your money. You do whatever you like, even if you're gonna get turned into the internet punching bag like the rest of the Persona fans. These people have all the money in the world, and yet they spend it on all sorts of fluff. But I can't criticize too much because at least it's not my money. Someone asked this genuine question. I don't understand how you're all paying rent, going to concerts, going out every weekend, ordering food regularly, driving a car, paying for subscriptions, and going on trips with your friends. I don't. I'm broke. I work basically 7 days a week with little to no time for entertainment, except for books, manga, anime, comics, TV shows, movies, YouTube videos, audiobooks. Actually, those are plenty of entertainment, some of which you can get for free, but no time for games, unfortunately, unless you count watching someone else plays or talks about games. That's the only way I catch up with gaming stuff with my schedule. Heck, I just recently watched a full playthrough of Kane and Lynch Dead Men. You wanna know how old I am? I play Solitaire, Sudoku, Balatro, and I also find chess to be an infinitely more interesting game to watch. You have no idea how old that makes me feel. Also, unlike the rest of the typical miserable adults, I do enjoy the adult working life. It's mostly because things that used to excite me and consume my life don't consume me anymore, and the ones that I do consume can be consumed during break hours or on the road listening to it. I'm currently going on a James Bond movie marathon. I'm about to watch For Your Eyes Only, and I also read through the whole Ian Fleming's Casino Royale novel in audiobook form on YouTube. There are so many free audiobooks on YouTube. It's nuts that I didn't dive into this one sooner. Also, Casino Royale, classic. And my god, that ending was an emotional gut punch to say the least. It made me want to read Live and Let Die, which I'm still doing right now. And there's a segment in the book involving a pinky finger that makes me want to squirm in a fetal position. Should I go to massive credit card debts? They look like they're having fun. Please don't go to massive debts just to have fun. There are many cheap or even free frills available for you all in this world. I can give some tips that might help this problem. Have your parents pay for the most important thing, like having your parents pay for some, if not all, the major stuff. Okay, it's not exactly a tip. It's more like a secret key to success of all those people you mentioned. But here's a genuine tip. Learn how to sail the seas. You're probably not gonna get the latest stuff, but boy, you do save a lot of money there. Seriously, the audiobooks on YouTube are nuts. And that's all for the video today. Here's a cat. Don't forget to check out my previous videos here. Click the like button, comment, subscribe, leave some tips, just $1 down below. And thanks for watching.